I was really excited when I got this game and put it into the PlayStation 3 and Xevious came up. I was having a great time playing Xevious until I pressed the start button and some other game came up called RidgeRacer 7.
Welcome to Ridge State, the home of drift racing. Many racing events are held in Ridge State by the official racing association, the UFRA. Among them, the premier racing event is the Ridge State Grand Prix.
A lot of people have asked that Classic Game Room review some games that Classic Game Room doesn't like. Well, here you go.
Yeah, come on! Yeah!
Shut the f*** up!
Sorry!
She never shuts up. Who is this chick? And how do you stop it?
You're in first place! You're gonna be able to hold them back?
Admittedly, going into this, I've never been an enormous fan of RidgeRacer,
You're in second place! First place is just
which is
ahead.
a straightforward arcade-style racing game. In fact, this is the textbook definition of an arcade-style racing game, which is that the laws of physics have nothing to do with this game, and in fact, neither do cars. These may as well be spaceships or the boats in Hydro Thunder. That's not a fair comparison. Actually, I like Hydro Thunder a lot more than this game. But they put a car on the front of the packaging. You'd at least expect these things to handle a little bit like a car, but they don't. Let's get to some other things. This is on the PlayStation 3, yet why does it look worse than Gran Turismo 4 on the PlayStation 2? I've seen Sega Dreamcast games that look better than this. If you truly believe that The Fast and the Furious is the greatest piece of American cinema in the past 100 years, then you will love this game because drifting and nitrous are the primary elements. You drive on these highly stylized fictional courses, which by themselves aren't that bad, and you have a variety of cars that you can choose from and buy later on in the game as you advance.
You're in first place! You're gonna be able to hold them back?
But the thing that drove me crazy about this game, that just simply made me want to just smash it into the ground, were it not for the fact that Xevious is also on the same disc, and I love Xevious, so I can't break a Xevious game. What drove me crazy is this stupid drifting thing to earn nitrous. See the nitrous meter on the bottom left of the screen? The more you drift, the more nitrous you get. Shooting aliens in a spaceship in a two-dimensional environment that doesn't exist is completely logical. Whereas drifting to earn nitrous is highly improbable. What programmer decided that friction somehow gave you nitrous oxide? It doesn't work like that. I think the programmers of the game need to learn that friction creates heat, not nitrous.
Nitrous on standby.
So if anything, had these cars been coal-powered, it would have made more sense because drifting would have increased the heat underneath the coal, thereby increasing the force applied to the wheels.
Keep this up.
Clearly, I should have designed this game. However, the first thing I'd have done is replace all of the voice acting with lines like this. Screw this game. Let's get a beer and play Xevious. And it feels like the car is just in space. There's really nothing that feels remotely like a car. And in fact, I think there's actually more arcade realism in games like Hydro Thunder and Fatal Inertia. The car seems to fly into this drifting mode the instant you try to make any kind of a sharp turn. And half the time your car just starts sliding sideways the entire way down the road until you finally run into something or eventually point it in the right direction, and then it's like sliding the other way sideways. All the time there's this irritating voice screaming at you, cheering you on, antagonizing you, and telling you when you're slipstreaming and doing awesome.
Nitrous ready.
Well, they should have added a button so that I could have thrown that chick out of the car and then backed over her.
Here we go. What's your problem? You have nitrous.
The RidgeRacer series, which is generally considered a classic now, and in fact there is a very nice article in the most recent Retro Gamer about the history of RidgeRacer from Namco, which is fascinating. However, in the age of Gran Turismo, of Forza 2, of realistic driving simulators,
You've entered the slipstream.
and of excellent arcade racing style games like Fatal Inertia, Hydro Thunder, RidgeRacer has not aged well. And the inclusion of the nitrous, the drifting, the screaming chick in the backseat,
You're almost in the lead.
where you just want to rip her head off, ruin this game. The music is terrible. This is about the worst video game music I've ever heard. And it sounds like somebody put about 5 minutes of effort into it. There's just no way to shut her up.
Crazy moves.
It's no surprise that this game can be had for a few dollars now. And if anything, you can buy it and play Xevious. If you really want to play a great arcade-style racing game, go get Fatal Inertia.
Slipstreaming.
As far as I'm concerned, this fictional RidgeRacer world that they've created with irritating women screaming at you about when you're slipstreaming is the 7th circle of hell, and I would avoid this game at all cost, except for playing Xevious.